Hello there, everyone. So today I am going to make a video because I've had a few questions in. So I would like to respond to these questions. And they are related to previous videos I've done. A couple of the questions I've asked the 9, a couple of follow-up questions to that question. And predominantly the 9 reply to these. So here we go. First one. What does the saying mean? It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. Mark 10:25. Does this mean if you are rich, you will not ascend? So I actually had this question come in from a few people, actually. So can you not go through ascension if you've got lots of money? Is that what this is saying? So I passed this over to the 9, and this is what they said. You're saying it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven, speaks not of financial wealth per se, but the attitude, if you will, towards it, and the resistance to lack of it, and the greed for it. It refers to energetic light body, Merkaba formation, through release of material attachment and the ability for Stargate ascension, unencumbered by third-dimensional trappings. Yet this has been interpreted as financial wealth, as being an undesirable hindrance to spirituality and enlightenment. This is correct only with its overall distribution when the system itself is inverted. So let's take a look at this. The saying, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. The 9 say this doesn't speak of financial wealth per se. It speaks of the attitude towards financial wealth. How do you feel about financial wealth? Are you in resistance to lack of financial wealth? Are you in a state of greed and desperation for financial wealth? So these are the attitudes you can have towards having money. That's the aspect that makes it difficult to pass through the eye of a needle. That makes it difficult to enter the kingdom of heaven, meaning a camel can pass through the eye of a needle easier than someone who's in this psychological and emotional attitude towards financial wealth. Well, obviously, in the physical reality, a camel can't pass through the eye of a needle. It's not possible within the physical laws of this universe in the third dimension. So what they're saying here is you will not enter the kingdom of heaven if you have these attitudes, resistance to lack of it, greed for it. So that is the prevention of entering the kingdom of heaven, which is ascension, Stargate ascension. Those attitudes, belief systems, emotions, and everything that goes with it, that psychological mindset, that is what prevents ascension, not having money per se. And they went on to say that this refers to the energetic light body, Merkaba formation through release of material attachment and the ability for Stargate ascension. So the energetic system, the true organic template, the Merkaba formation, if material attachment is released, whether you have material wealth or not, if the attachment to it is released, then Stargate ascension can take place because it is unencumbered by third dimensional trappings, meaning you are not trapped by the third dimension. Whether you have money, whether you have huge financial wealth or not, if you aren't attached to that financial wealth, then you've released that holding that energy that holds you down into the third dimension. And that's what they mean by material attachment, unencumbered by. And they go on to say this is interpreted as financial wealth being an undesirable hindrance to spirituality and enlightenment. So that's how this has been interpreted for many, many years, that if you have money, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. If you are rich, you won't go through ascension. That's not what is being said here, and that is not the case. You can be a millionaire, a billionaire, or be completely in poverty. That doesn't make any difference when it comes to Stargate Ascension or Ascension itself. They're two different things. Stargate being the accelerated version, which I've spoken about before. Both of these things can take place regardless of how much money you have. If you're in the 0 point field and you are not trapped by 3D, if you're trapped by 3D, by your own perception towards finances and money, then that is what prevents ascension. And that's why it's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle, which is physically impossible in this reality. Okay, next question. Another biblical question. Are we in the times of tribulation as referred to in the Bible? So I've spoken to the 9 about this, and they have said to me that we are in that time that is known as the tribulation. However, some biblical interpretations suggest that this is a 7-year period immediately following a period known as the Rapture. That's what's interpreted. So this is not so linear, and this is not so linearly interpreted as in this 7-year period. The 9 said the rapture and the tribulation, which are perceived in a linear sense. Rapture comes first, tribulation comes afterwards. The 9 are saying that the rapture and the tribulation, those experiences, those time periods that are being explained in the Bible or presented in the Bible, they occur simultaneously. If you go back to my previous 2 videos, I'll just give you the titles of those, and they are US domain navigating polarity systems into 2024, and then the one prior to that, which I don't have the title in front of me. The last 2 videos uploaded before this one, and they're connected. There's the first part and the second part. This explains this. The rapture and the tribulation occur simultaneously. These are dimensional layers occurring simultaneously, 3D and 5D consciousness. So this can also be interpreted as the rapture being the paradise timeline, or the diamond core template, as in the way the singularity is experienced for you. Or the tribulation could be known as the Armageddon template, the Armageddon timeline, or the iron core template. Again, that's how the singularity is experienced to you, and that would be the artificial intelligence overlay, the false singularity, the false ascension, if you will. And then I went on to say also old Earth, new Earth would also be the same thing, or AI transhumanism reality or timeline, or in The Village, the novel that we're writing, transferism, and organic reality. So this is all the same thing. The rapture and the tribulation, yes, we're in those times. So we're in the times of the rapture right now. We're in the times of the tribulation right now. They are occurring simultaneously, but they're only occurring simultaneously for those that are not caught in the linear reality. They are linearly experienced for those who are not 5th dimensionally connected in that kind of consciousness, because everything is experienced linearly. So if there is a blissful, joyful experience, then that's followed by a time period in the humanity's collective consciousness that's not blissful, that is presenting as something to be worried about or fearful of. These are seen in linear sections, but they're simultaneous because it's all about perception and perspective, as explained in my previous two videos that I've just done. So if you haven't seen those, that will explain this. So this is what the 9 are saying. The rapture and the tribulation occur simultaneously. They're both there right now, and we choose which one we want. Okay, this is another question, and it's completely unrelated to this completely. Someone asked on Telegram that they'd wondered actually for a long time, what would people be like if they didn't have mirrors and could only see each other but couldn't see themselves? So I thought this was a really interesting concept. I didn't know the response to this. I asked the 9, and this is what the 9 replied. There are indeed such societies or realities, shall we say. The presentation of realities who experience this do not have the catalyst of reflection. Therefore, that which is outside self is perceived as the teaching. The opportunity for initiation is to move from insecurities created by the observations, opinions, and falsehoods of others into finding confidence and truth within self, much like your own reality. For the realities that do not have polarity, then the non-reflection experience allows for continuity of peace, but much slower growth. There is much we can say regarding these realities and the resulting opportunities and experiences. However, this is the foundational presentation. So let me just check if we're recording. We are recording. Good. Okay. There are indeed such societies or realities, shall we say. So what they're saying here is there are societies, realities, planetary systems, parallel experiences, different consciousnesses, extraterrestrial civilizations, however you want to interpret what that means. As individuals who don't have mirrors, they can't see their own reflection. They can only see the reflection of others. This isn't something we have here in this reality. We have mirrors and we have windows and we have water and we have lots of things that we can look into and see our own reflection. But there are realities that don't have that. That's what the 9 are saying. The presentation of these realities who experience this do not have the catalyst of reflection. So what the 9 are saying here is reflection. When you look into a mirror, your reflection is a catalyst. For what? I would suggest multiple things, but it is a catalyst, which means it catalyzes you into some kind of learning experience or awareness or realization or even physical experience in your reality timeline. So your reflection is a catalyst, and catalysts can be negative and positive. So those who do not have the experience of being able to look into something that would reflect back at them, like water or a mirror or anything that would reflect, if they don't have that in that reality at all, they do not have the catalyst of reflection. Now, the 9 didn't actually say this, but I feel that goes deeper, as in reflection is a concept in and of itself. It isn't just about looking in the mirror and seeing your physical reflection. It's about everything in reality reflected back at you. So those that don't have this physical experience of physical reflection don't have a catalyst of reflection. So they don't see self outside of themselves. And that's what the 9 go on to say. Therefore, that which is outside self is perceived as the teaching. So everything seen outside of self is the teaching for that individual. The opportunity for initiation is to move from insecurities created by the observations, opinions, and falsehoods of others. So let's just break that down. opportunity for initiation, opportunity for an understanding, an epiphany, an experience, a coming into a new octave of self, a drawing down more aspects of the higher dimensional light, the higher self template into self, walk in, a type experience, however you wish to perceive that or explain that. The opportunity for initiation is to move from insecurities. So we have insecurities caused by the observations, opinions, and falsehoods of others. So other people saying to you, you are this, you look like this, because I observe that, therefore it's true. You don't have that truth because you can't see your own reflection, whether that's metaphoric or physical, actual. Opinions. I have the opinion that you are this, you look like this. This is what you are and who you are, physically and non-physically. I'm presenting my opinion. And then falsehoods of others, as in they look at you and know what you are, and then they tell you something that they know you are not in order to gaslight or mislead. So these come into the reality of the individual who can't see their own reflection. So the opportunity for initiation here is to move from these insecurities caused by the outside opinion of others into finding confidence and truth within themselves, even when they do not have physical mirrors in that reality. But then the 9 added on the end, much like your own reality. So we too go through this, even if we don't have a mirror to reflect ourselves, even though we do have a mirror to reflect ourselves, as in the physical reality, are we truly looking in that mirror spiritually and allowing ourselves to see that reflection? Or are we looking to other people's observations, opinions, and falsehoods to make opinions of ourselves? And I think that's what the 9 are meaning. Whether you have a mirror, a physical mirror, or you do not have a physical mirror, the experience of coming from insecurity into confidence and truth is the same, even though the catalyst of reflection isn't there in a society or a planetary system or a civilization that doesn't have that on a physical level. Still the same experience there. But then they go on to say, for the realities that do not have polarity, so let's break that down. So we have polarity here in this reality, light and dark, night and day, good and bad, male and female. We have polarity here in this universe. This is a polarized universe. And as we move through these dimensional octaves, we lighten that polarity. That polarity changes. And then it's only when we get to 7th dimensional reality that we do not have polarity. So I don't know whether the 9 are actually saying this is a 7th dimensional civilization that they're talking about, or are there other universes? Okay, yeah. The 9 are saying there are other universes that do not have polarity experience, and they're not at 7th dimension. Okay, so for us, our reality here on Earth, we need to get to the 7th dimension in this soul trajectory into individualization. We need to get to the 7th dimension to experience no polarity and unity. But there are planetary systems of lower density that do not experience polarity. And the 9 go on to say the non-reflection experience within that reality that doesn't have polarity. So this is a reality that doesn't have the reflection experience. On a physical level, they don't have any mirrors. They can't see their own face. They don't have reflection experience, reflection as catalyst. Because they don't have polarity, this allows for continuity of peace. I'm not really sure how that would work. I mean, it is difficult for me to get my head around that, because obviously we live in a reality of polarity, and all I've ever known is polarity in this soul trajectory. But looking at a non-polarized reality without reflection, I would imagine what the nine are saying here is these insecurities that are created by observations, opinions, and falsehoods aren't there because there's no polarity. So you aren't going to have any observations, opinions, and falsehoods of others. So you are simply having peace and existence. It doesn't matter whether you can see your face or not. It doesn't matter whether you have a spiritual, psychological reflection or not. You don't have that catalyst. And no one is telling you that you look in a certain way. No one's sharing their opinion with you, and no one is giving you any falsehoods, because that's polarized and there's no polarity. Everyone is on the same level. Therefore, continuity of peace. I think that's what the nine are saying. But then they go on to say, but much slower growth, which suggests the catalyst for reflection, or without reflection and not having that catalyst, bringing about the same observations, opinions, and falsehoods of others coming into your reality, and you moving from insecurity into confidence and truth because of that, that in and of itself creates growth. And that means polarity. So polarity creates growth. And I have spoken about this before, and the nine have spoken about this before, and they talk about this a lot in my first book, Masters of the Matrix. They explain polarity. And there are several videos and transmissions from the nine where they've talked about this. So polarity itself is faster growth, but there isn't necessarily continuity of peace. If you're in that third dimensional reality, to find continuity of peace, you have to move from the insecurities into the confidence and truth within self. So it's self that you are finding your reality through, not the opinions, observations, and falsehoods of others in this reality. Anyway, what a fantastic question. And leading to so many catalysts of thought and metaphysical discussion and potential epiphany. The nine go on to say there is much we can say regarding these realities, meaning there's much, much more they could talk about, and the resulting opportunities and experiences. So the realities that do not have the catalyst of reflection, there's much that can be said within that. However, this is the foundational presentation. Obviously, the nine aren't coming through here with a huge transmission. There's going to be a book that's going to take me 6 months to write, but clearly that could be the case should the nine wish to, or should I wish to explore that, which I'm not necessarily resonating with at this point, to actually bring through all of this information. That's the foundational presentation, which is a catalyst in and of itself. So thank you to the person who asked the question. And I actually think the person made a statement, actually, rather than asking a question, because she said, I've often wondered, what would people be like if we didn't have mirrors and could only see each other but not ourselves? So it was a rhetorical question. It was a wondering out loud, a thought that's created a catalyst just by that thought and the response from the nine, and hopefully my analysis of that has created more catalysts for you listening. So yes, a wonderful concept. Okay, next question. Oh, actually, this question was from me. I followed on from this, and I asked the nine, can you tell us the location or name of the planet or reality where a reflection catalyst is not present? Because they'd said there were other societies that had this, where there is no reflection, no mirrors, no water, nothing they can look in and see their own face. Or it might not be that there's no water, but maybe there's no light to create reflection within that water. Doesn't necessarily mean there's no water per se, but is there no moonlight? Is there constant darkness? I mean, is there even sight there? I don't know. But I asked them if they could tell us the location or name of the planet or reality where a reflection catalyst is not present. And they replied, there are many. Yet we can say that one of these worlds resides within the Andromeda galaxy. Okay, so that doesn't say a great deal. The Andromeda galaxy is huge, but there's one world that doesn't have the catalyst of reflection in the Andromeda galaxy. So I then continued and asked them, you said once that the Andromedans were brothers of yours when expressing that you are Arcturian, which they did many years ago. They told me they were Arcturian, and I said, are you connected to Andromeda? Are you Andromedan? And they said, close, we are brothers. So they said Andromedans were brothers of theirs when they expressed that they were Arcturian. So my question is, does the Andromeda galaxy contain parallel versions of our Earth? Is that why you're brothers? My thinking is, well, if the 9 are communicating with me, did they mean we're brothers because there's a parallel version of this Earth with a parallel version of me as Magenta in the Andromeda galaxy? And when it comes to location in space, is it a parallel dimension? And the 9 replied, close. The Andromeda galaxy contains parallel versions of multiple different realities you know as constellations or planetary bodies. This includes Arcturus and what you know as your Earth within the different harmonic dimensional makeup of Andromeda. So Andromeda is a multidimensional system with multiple dimensions and harmonic dimensions, just like our galaxy. And that galaxy contains parallel versions of multiple different realities that we would know as constellations or planets. So the answer is yes. There are alternative timelines or alternative parallel versions of us within Andromeda. So it's like we're talking previously with the question about reflection. Andromeda appears to be a reflection of our galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy, and that they're reflections of one another. That's what the 9 are saying here, but that includes Arcturus as well as Earth. And is that the only one? I would say, given the information the 9 have told me about how creation occurs, is you have a spiraling system going this way, and then diagonally, like a flower of life configuration. So it would appear that Earth is in all of these, and so are we. And that's where our quantum timelines or alternative realities are, in space rather than in time. But that's what the 9 said about that. And I went on to ask them, is our galaxy, the Milky Way, merging with the Andromeda galaxy? Now, I'd heard from someone else that this was the case, that our galaxy, the Milky Way, is merging with the Andromeda galaxy. Slowly, the galaxies are merging together. So I wanted to know from the 9 if this was correct. And they said, the higher dimensional harmonics are already merged. Indeed, the physical aspects of these galaxies are moving into such formation, as is the natural and organic way of cosmological evolution. So from the higher harmonic perspective, the galaxies are already merged together. So that's already occurred. And in the physical reality that we exist within, that's how it's perceived in this universal cosmic play out, cosmological evolution. And that's the natural and organic way. So obviously, when you look at the higher dimensional perspective of the galaxies are already merged, when we then look down here from the point of view where we're a galaxy that's outside of that galaxy or next to it, we're in the past. So those galaxies haven't merged yet. The higher dimensional viewpoint is the future, where they have, and I'm talking billions and billions and billions of light years. So it's fascinating, really, how the whole creational template works and how we are able to access information in our various ways, whether that comes from daytime visuals coming in, dreams, epiphanies, or communication with one's guidance system. It's all the same thing. it's amazing that we can unlock that DNA template that contains the knowledge of all and everything. So I think I'll end this video here, because the next question, I believe, is the only, yeah. Oh no, there's 2 more questions. Okay, I will do another video to look at those 2 questions. I'll end that here because the next question's quite long. So I will end that here, and I'll be back again with the next questions. And thank you so much for listening. Bye.